Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Kelly's Creative Dream Studios, and it is a belated Reindeer Club day. Yesterday was supposed to be Reindeer Club, but Bob left on Monday instead of on Tuesday, so I spent the last couple of days of his time home with him, and having to finish getting him ready to go out the door a day early just kind of threw me off schedule. But I knew what I was doing. I just couldn't get the time to sit down to finish the cards. So last week we started on, let me see if I can pull the paper up. So one thing I didn't do is pull the paper up. Last month we started on these. This was from the October 2022 paper pumpkin. And we had these three styles of cards. We made these, couple of these together. And then I sat and got the rest of them done. We had this stamp set that we were using with the Santa Claus face, Santa and the reindeer, Mary, ho-ho. Lots of different sizes and fonts. So we worked with this one last month. And I'm trying to find places to set stuff till I can put it back away. So I set and I got the rest of those cards done. And all of their envelopes. So we have those. There were, I'm going to leave that one with that card so I don't lose track of it, because I will. Now this one, I got some of the ink in the center of the stamp, and so he had a sooty beard, so I covered it in, covered that in stickles. And I did go through and add a little bit of snowflake embellishment on the inside of the card. And when I find a sentiment that I'm putting in the top on the inside, I'll probably stamp another snowflake below it, because snowflakes seem to be the theme here. So there were, and I have these stacked with the envelopes, just like that. My desk is a bit of a clutter today, but I'm okay with that, because I have to take a picture for what's on your work desk Wednesday here pretty soon, and it'd be nice to have something on my desk. So then we had, I'm going to move this one over, and this one, and then we had this one here, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and I got all of those done. Now, there was supposed to be a third one of these, but when I was pulling the kit stuff apart yesterday, and a third one of these, I realized I was missing an entire sheet of the punch-outs. And I've contacted Stampin' Up and seeing if I can get another set of those. So, overall, when I get those two back, there will be 9 Christmas cards with this set. Okay? So there was 9. And then I broke into another kit, and it was from the November 2022 paper kit, except everything was tags. I don't use gift tags. Had no purpose for gift tags, but I could make it work. We started with this stamp set. Let me see if I can put a card behind this so you can see. Started with this stamp set. And as you can see, it's polymer, it stains, it's no big deal. But I have this stamp set to work with. And these are the cards that I came up with. There were 4 cards in each set. So we had these. And it's a good thing I have envelopes on hand, because tags don't come with envelopes. So I didn't have envelopes for these. So there were my cards. Now we're going to throw this one together. Basically what I did was I took, and let me shove these up out of the way for a minute. I took an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, cut it on the long side at 5.5, and then you fold it in half. And I learned something yesterday. Did you know that if you do not score your fold line, you will get a flatter card? I did not know that, but I thought it was pretty cool. And I'm going to show you the other trick I discovered. When you lay your paper down, if you butt your fingers up against the edge and walk your top paper up to that, it provides a bumper, so you'll get a straight fold. Again, another pretty cool tip. So I had those. I went through and I made all white card bases. And the colors associated with this kit, and I'll always tell you on the back, basic black, cherry cobbler, crumb cake, mint macarons, shaded spruce, and sweet sorbet. Now, I switched it up just a little bit. I did use cherry cobbler, but I used an old color, Emerald Envy. And then instead of crumb cake, yeah, yes, I did use crumb cake for this one. Excuse me. So after I cut my card base to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, or 5 1/2, and then folded it at the 4 1/4, which gave me my card base, then I need to come back and cut my card mat. Now it can't be the same, well it can be, but I wanted the white border. So I'm cutting this, excuse me, I'm cutting this a 1/4 inch smaller. So instead of 4 1/4, I'm trimming it down to 4, cutting off a 1/4 inch. And then instead of the 5 1/2, cutting it down a 1/4 inch down to the 5 1/4. And that gives you a perfect 1/4 inch mat all the way around, or 1/8 inch mat all the way around. And then I took my adhesive, and you can use glue or you can use double-sided tape, whatever you want to use to put this in place. And then again, I found my mark there, and I butted my paper up against my fingers, and that helped line it up in that perfect spacing, and then marked it down. And then I just came back. Now this one is supposed to have string on it. I messed up and got a knot in my first string. So let me see what I have in my, I have all of my baker's twine in this embroidery floss keeper, and I don't like it. It's too bulky, it's too flippy. I think I'm just going to put them into a box, card, excuse me, card catalog style. And I think this one is probably going to be our closest. And since I have the white, this one I think is Lucky Limeade. Yep. But since I have, excuse me, a white card base, I'm okay with this. It is still early in the morning. Now they suggested on here to do a 12-inch string, and they'll tell you how to cut everything, what goes where. And they also give you the ruler. So I'm going to measure this out at 12. And I thought 12 was a little big for this particular one, but I'm okay with that too. I don't get too bent out of shape. I really don't. Oops, give me my string back. And all I did with this one, and I wouldn't have had to have such a long one, looped it through the hole, evened up my threads, and I tied a knot to hold that string in place, and then I came back and tied a bow. Just like that. Now I came back, flipped it over, run my glue strip down the back of the tag, and I did the same process for all of the tags, and I kind of set it cattywampus here, just like that. And that gave me 12 cards from this kit. I thought that was pretty good. So I've got these 12, excuse me, I have these 12, and I have 9 from the other one. So I've got, what, 21 cards ready to go for Christmas. Now, I did not stamp the insides of these yet. I haven't figured out what I want to do to the insides with that stamp set. And I don't, there's not really a lot in here to use on the inside. So I will go back into one of my other Christmas things and I'll stamp something on the inside. I may have a candy cane border or something to that effect I'd put on the inside. So that gives me the 21 Christmas cards for the last 2 months. at this rate, I will have my Christmas cards done in no time. Next month, I may try to do something, a different type of project. So hang on to your hats for that one. Tomorrow, I will be showing you the tutorial of what we are doing for our last week of spotlighting Carrie the Crafter. And remember that I will also be linking the blog post if you want to see behind the scenes of Carrie. He will be on my blog tomorrow talking about how he got into crafting and crafting as a business and pics of his studio. And I got to tell you, he is such a versatile artist. He's been a cake decorator, he's been a chef, he's been in drama and stage, and I mean, Carrie had, when it comes to creative arts, we're not just talking paper. Carrie has done it all, and he's done it all at award-winning levels. So there is that. So you'll want to come back tomorrow to get that blog link, if nothing else, so you can go check out Carrie the Crafter on my blog. And we will be doing our final element from Carrie. And I'm going to tell you, if you have postcards, you might want to bring them along. Any of your scraps, bring them along. If you don't have pre-done postcards or junk mail postcards, you can use an index card. You can cut a postcard. Mine are big from Stampin' Up. And they are, of course, I don't have a ruler here. Of course I don't. It's over on the other one. But they are roughly 5.5 by 4 1/4. So, find you some postcards, cut you some postcards, bring you some scraps, have your glue stick, and we are going to make pockets for our journals tomorrow. But I'm also going to show you how we can take the pocket, and without a thumb notch, it can become the mat on a card. So come back for that. Thanks for joining me in the studio today. Remember to like, to share, subscribe, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Creative blessings.